Simply Food by TY.
Welcome back to Simply Food by TY. Today we're going to be making some sausage and peppers. A really quick, easy, simple dish to make for the family. Especially this is great if you have guests coming over. I have two separate ways that I make mine, and I'm going to show you my cast iron way today. So I just want to give you a quick rundown of some of the ingredients that I will be using. Here we go. So in this bowl, I have 10 Italian spicy sausage. I'm going to leave 2 of them out so I can show you how I chop them up. I have 5 cloves of garlic. I have about 2 tablespoons of butter that we're going to be using. About 2 tablespoons of some tomato paste, concentrated. I have 1 whole yellow bell pepper, 1 whole red bell pepper. I have a half of a sweet onion. I have 1 orange bell pepper. And back here I have a half a cup of a dry red wine, and then the other half of the cup I use a tomato sauce. You can use San Marzano tomatoes. You can use whatever tomato sauce you have on hand. If you don't have any on hand, you can just add extra tomato paste to the dish and it's completely fine. Just make sure that it's a dry wine. And then of course we're going to use a little bit of olive oil. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up and ready to go. And when we come back, we're going to get to start cooking. See you soon. Alrighty guys, so we are ready to go. So let me just lower this down a little bit so you can see the pan better. So of course, the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and add some of our olive oil to our pan. And like I said, I'm going to use maybe roughly about 2 tablespoons. Not much. The first thing we want to do is we're going to brown off our Italian sausage. Just because I want that beautiful brown color before we put all of this together and then place it in the oven. So I've added in the 2 tablespoons of the olive oil, and I'm going to also add in the butter. This pan was already nice and heated, as you can see. Let me go on ahead and get my wooden spoon out so I can have that ready, and my tongs so that I'll be able to take these sausages out. And now let me just push this around here so we can get that nice and melted. And while this is melting, I just want to show you how I chopped up these Italian sausage. So honestly, the best thing to do is if they're still a little bit frozen, it'll make it a whole lot easier because I am leaving the skin on. So I'm just cutting them into about, I don't know, 2 inches thick, 2 inches wide. Honey, I don't know. Just chop the damn things out. You know, we ain't gotta look. We cooking at home, honey. Y'all see what I'm doing? Just cut them bad boys up into nice little chunks. And like I said, if you cut them while they're still somewhat frozen, it'll be a little bit easier to cut them, especially if you still are going to be using the skin. Because of course the skin gets all slimy. And honey, I clearly need to sharpen these damn knives, but it's all good. So I'm just going to chop these other ones up. Oh yes, I really need to sharpen these damn knives. But I didn't took my damn finger off. But it's alright. Okay, so you guys got the gist of that. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is I'm only going to add in a few of the sausages at a time. Because again, I want them to brown evenly. So I don't want to overcrowd my pan. And don't get too fussed about trying to fully cook them, because this entire dish is all going to go into the oven. So the only thing we're doing right now is just trying to brown them over. Which will only take a few moments. Alright, so that's about enough. We don't want to put too many in. So let me just zoom in a little bit so you can get a closer view of that. So like I said, what we're doing right now is just trying to simply brown over the sausage so that it has that beautiful brown color to it. Because once we put it in the oven, if we put it in the oven and they're not, you know, nicely charred and brown already, then it'll just steam and it won't have that beautiful color that we're looking for. So that's what we're working for right now. Don't mess with them and, you know, move them around. Let them color on one side and then we'll toss them around. And again, we're not trying to fully cook them. We're just simply browning them. So we're going to let those go for a minute or so. And our cloves of garlic here, I have 5 cloves of garlic. What we're going to do is once we've browned off all of the sausage, we're going to then add in the peppers and the onions. Let those sweat out for just a few moments. Again, because we're going to put all of this in the oven. We're going to add our tomato sauce to it, a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of salt, And we're just going to stick those cloves of garlic in it. And honestly, guys, that's it. We're going to pop it in the oven at 350 degrees, which is already preheated, for about a half hour, 45 minutes. And this dish will be done. It's so simple, but it's so delicious. The other way that I like to make mine is I do a slow cooker method, which a lot of my friends really enjoy. I make them in my crock pot. And that one, I usually use almost about a whole bottle of wine, honestly. Because I'm not too keen on a lot of tomato sauce. See that beautiful brown color we're starting to get on those sausages? That's what we're looking for. I'm not too keen on a lot of tomato sauce. So when I make my sausage and peppers this way, I make the sausage and the peppers the star of the dish. And the tomato sauce is just simply so that there's a little bit of sauce to have when we pour it over the pasta. Or if you just, want it with a salad, you can do that as well. I think tonight I'm probably going to go ahead and serve this with some thin pasta. Alrighty, so these are starting to brown up nicely. Just the way I want them. And like I said, I'm not trying to fully cook these right now, guys. So I'm just trying to brown them off. Let me go ahead and get a separate bowl. That way I can put those in there. We'll be able to take these out in a moment. This part does not take long at all. And I'm just going to show you this first set, and then what I'll do is I'll sign off, I'll brown them all off, and then we'll come back together, and then I'll show you how we'll put the rest of the dish together. Because you guys don't need to sit here and watch me brown all of these pieces of sausages. And honestly, if you have a bigger frying pan, you can do way more at a time, but because I'm not trying to be doing a whole bunch of dishes tonight, I'm just doing everything in this one pan, which to me is the best way to cook, especially when you're doing something like this, because all of the seasonings are going to start coating the pan, and it just makes it absolutely delicious. But again, you don't want to rush it, because if you do, then it's not going to brown, it's going to steam, and then that's when you get that weird gray looking sausage, which is not what we want. Let me just zoom in a little bit more so you can see what's happening in there. And like I said, the reason why I only added about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and the 2 tablespoons of butter is because, sausages naturally have a lot of grease and oil. And we're probably going to have to pour some of this off. I'll be able to tell you once we get to that part later. But for now, we're doing good. All right, so these are just about how I want them. They have a nice brown color to them. Nice crispy edges. Yep, this is just about right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take these out. And I'm going to put them in a separate bowl. And then I'm just going to repeat this process probably about 2 more times because I do have a lot I'm cooking for the next few days. Because I'm not going to want to... Ooh, sorry about that, guys. Because I'm not going to want to cook again. So let me just show you. I'll just put a few more in there. Get those going. Right now I have my pan... I guess it honestly depends on what type of stove you have, but mine is on about a medium high. This is also a cast iron skillet, so it retains heat really well. So, you don't have to have it up too high or it will burn. Alrighty, guys, so like I said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off now and finish browning the rest of these off. And then once that's done, we'll come back together and I'll show you how we're going to put the rest of this meal together. I'll see you shortly. Alrighty, guys, so we are back. So I'm now finishing up the last set of the sausage here in the pan. And I'm going to go ahead and remove these and place these with the others. And then we're going to go ahead and add in the peppers, the onions, the tomato paste, and the tomato sauce. Take those all out, put those in a separate pan there. And now we're going to go ahead and add in our peppers. And the onions and the other set of peppers. And we're just going to partially cook these for a few moments, not for too long. Guys, when this hits the pan, I'm telling you, it smells so delicious. My goodness. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of sea salt. Not much, because pork contains a lot of salt. And I'm going to go ahead and also add in my black pepper. Guys, I'm telling you, if only you all could smell this. It smells, I mean, out of this world, honestly. I'll just put this on here so I'll be able to hold my pan. Just going to give that a little quick toss around there. And like I said, I honestly didn't have to drain any of that oil off. It didn't let off as much as I thought, which is fantastic. That worked to our advantage. So I'm going to turn this up just a little bit. And like I said, I'm only going to let these cook for just a few minutes, not long. Honestly, just to sweat them out, just a touch. Because they're going to cook, you know, down a lot in the oven. Because like I said, we're going to add our sausages back to this in a moment with the garlic, the tomato paste, and the tomato sauce. And we're going to pop it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes uncovered. And it's going to get all golden brown and, oh, it's just going to be delicious. So this is actually just the way I want it. We're going to let that go for just a few more moments. Turn this up some. And so, here, let me show you the sausages here. So like I said, I just partially cook them, but they're nice and golden brown. That's what you want. Because what could happen is if you put all of these sausages into a pan uncooked, or, you know, not browned at least, when you put them in the oven, they could potentially come out, you know, gray. And we don't want that. And although we're going to bake it in the oven, like I said, for 45 minutes uncovered, I still like to make sure I have that char already on there. It kind of just seals in all of that deliciousness. So these are looking wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and make a little well in the center of my pan. And I'm going to get a little spoon. And I'm going to go ahead and put that tomato paste right in the center. And I'm going to let that sit there for a few moments because I want to cook out a little bit of that tomato-y taste. You know, this is concentrated tomato paste and it's pretty potent. So you want to just, you know, let some of that cook off for a second. So let me put this in the sink. Get rid of that there. Like I said, we're just going to let that sit there for a few seconds just to cook off some of that raw tomato taste. Honestly, guys, we're about to be done this dish. Besides putting it in the oven, it's just that simple, and I'm telling you, this is great if you have kids, you know, if you have friends coming over, serve it with a lovely baguette or make some bruschetta, or, you know, have a nice glass of wine. It's so simple to make. I'm also now going to go ahead and add in that half a cup of red wine and the tomato sauce. Pour all of that right on in there. And like I said, if you like more tomato sauce, you can add as much as you would like, honestly. And now, we're going to go ahead and add our sausages in. And it's just that simple, guys. Now this is going to be a pretty stuffed pan, but that's okay. I can make it work. Okay. So now I'm just going to toss all of this around. This is going to be, oh my God, it's going to be so good. I'm just going to toss all of this around in that lovely sauce. And yes, this is the other reason, guys, why I was saying, you know, you want to make sure you brown it. Because see now, hear how that sizzling sound is gone? It's because now this pan is so overcrowded that now it's steaming. So because we've already browned everything the way we want it to, it's going to be totally fine. All right. So this is perfect. We just wanted to simply toss that just a little bit. Oh my God, this looks so good. Okay. So now I'm going to just stuff in my 5 cloves of garlic. Just put them on in there. Any kind of way, that's totally fine. And then you're going to pop this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes uncovered. And then when we come back, guys, I will show you the finished product. I will see you shortly. Guys, so just so you guys know, while we're waiting for our sausage and peppers to finish up in the oven, I went ahead and prepared a nice little simple salad here with just some fresh romaine, chopped carrots, tomatoes, a few cranberries, a little bit of feta cheese, some cucumbers, tomatoes, some croutons, cracked black pepper. It's going to be absolutely delicious. So I just wanted to show you that while we are waiting for our sausage and peppers to finish up in the oven. So I'll check in with you guys in probably about 20 minutes or so. I'm thinking the sausages will be done. See you soon. Alrighty guys, we are back and this house smells delicious. I have my pasta going in my pan over to the side. You guys have already seen the salad that I made for dinner. And now it's time for the main event. So I'm going to head on over to the oven. And I'm going to take out the sausage and peppers, and then we're going to top it with a little bit of fresh parsley, Italian parsley, and my little trick is some crushed feta. Oh my God, you guys. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's honestly stunning. So now, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and top it with some fresh parsley. And I like to just get it all over the board. It's pretty for presentation. Okay. And then I'm also going to put, like I said, my little trick. Instead of Parmesan and mozzarella, I'm going to use some crushed feta. Just sprinkle that right over the top. And I'm telling you guys, this dish is out of this world. It's so good and so delicious. Let me just zoom in a little bit for you. I'm telling you guys. So that's it. This is my sausage and peppers. It's just that simple. Let me get a little spoon here, so you guys can see what's going on down at the bottom. But like, if you move it back here, look at how beautiful that looks. The sausages are nicely browned, beautifully colored. The seasoning is just right. The red wine, you can smell it. You guys, if you've liked what you've seen today, like I said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys have any suggestions, you can always email me at SimplyFoodByTy@gmail.com. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at SimplyFoodByTy, with no spaces. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Thanks again for the support, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Simply Food by TY.